How did the whole change happen for you from being a lawyer to moving into brand communication?
Well, I want to first start with saying that it was very painful and there was a lot of suffering involved. Brand is important. I know my brand. So they must be in sync with the kind of brand I want to build. We have 200 plus stores, we can be the pioneers and we should break a category that's going to really help every customer, including ourselves.
Most startup brands, experimentation, and there is no other proof than actually seeing it do it or no.
We've done proposals in front of pyramids of Giza. We've done proposals in front of Eiffel Tower. So we've done so many of these beautiful moment creation.
What did you take, since you've mentioned Shukar Hai, Sugar Hai? What do you remember from your journey from Sugar that you took to Jiva?
I remember one thing, that every single time that a person goes to a new brand, to be able to immerse yourself, whether it was at an agency like Pink Lemonade, whether it was at a Myntra, whether it was at an Urban or Sugar, we noticed a beautiful thing, that there is very considered purchase where you go for a bigger piece of jewelry with your parents, whatever, like you're buying for wedding or you're investing a lot in gold.
Hello and welcome to Iconic Brand Stories. I'm Tina Mansukhani Garg and I'm the founder of Pink Lemonade. Over the last few years, I've had the privilege of working with a large number of brands and unpacking what makes them tick, what makes them a success, and sometimes what makes them stumble. Today's episode is really special to me because we have with us someone who's not just a brilliant brand marketer, but she also started her journey with me right at Pink Lemonade. Welcome, Resha Jain. And Resha is the Chief Brand Officer of GIVA Jewellery, a brand that has made affordable luxury a reality in India's jewellery industry. Resha started her journey as a lawyer and is today a successful brand marketer, having worked with some of the most dynamic brands in the country. Before Jiva, Resha was with Myntra and with Sugar Cosmetics, where she's really redefined the way the brand went to market. Resha, there's lots to uncover with you today, so thank you for giving us time.
Well, I can't believe that I'm sitting here. It's a very special day, Tina. Like you said, it's like life comes a full circle. I
Yes.
remember coming to you like a lost kid who wanted to start something new. And now to just sit here and talk about my own journey,
You have
everybody's been very kind.
done a lot of people proud, Resha. A lot of people.
I'm very happy that you are one of them.
I
Indeed.
am so excited to understand and tell us, how did the whole change happen for you from being a lawyer to moving into brand communication?
Well, I want to first start with saying that it was very painful and there was a lot of suffering involved. But no, as a lawyer, I knew one thing.
Mhm.
When I was quitting law, because I'd had a really good run at law as well, and I enjoyed it. But towards the last couple of months, when I used to wake up in the morning, I didn't feel motivated to go and do it. And whenever I would project into the future, I knew that this is not something that I can see myself do forever. That probably started this idea that I want to do something which is more creative. And I think what really happened is a lot of things once you decide and you want to do something which is more you, which is more authentic to the person you are,
Of course.
and you don't want to only stick to it because you studied and there's now a lot of investment in the fact that you have a degree, you don't know anything beyond the degree, that you have a career that could become something. It was a difficult decision, but I'm just grateful because I remember coming to and starting, like we said, Pink Lemonade and speaking to you, and you just saying that you're smart. Why don't you start writing if that's what you want to do? And I remember going back home and not even thinking that I was smart enough to write, and I
Oh
had
my
written all
God.
my life. So sometimes you have to get through the self worth issues, you have to get through the doubt. And I think the only way to get through is to go and do
Dive
it.
in.
You just do it. And once I started doing it, every step of the way, I had to battle some amount of fear. But I think I also became more comfortable with battling it and taking on more and more. That is how.
Resha, you were always a bright spark. We could see it early on. Is there anything that you remember from the early days of learning branding, marketing? What do you remember that you carry forward with you?
I remember one thing, that every single time that a person goes to a new brand, to be able to immerse yourself, whether it was at an agency like Pink Lemonade, whether it was at a Myntra, whether it was at an Arvind or Sugar, what I realized was, as much as you become what you are, you personify what you are trying to
Absolutely.
get, bring to people,
Yes,
you do a justice to actually selling it well, because you're not
absolutely.
selling a product, you really must believe. And I think I do that. I really love what I go to people with, I like the fact that I can think like them. So think like a customer, believe
Absolutely.
in your brand, and live your
Yes.
brand values every day.
Don't you think ideas come so easy when you know that brand? You don't need to think, it
Yes,
emerges.
yes,
It just
yes.
emerges.
It's almost like you're sleeping on something and you
Yeah,
wake up and you're like,
yeah.
I at least know what I want to test. When we
Yes.
did Shukar Hai, I
Mm.
woke up with it.
Isn't it? And it became
So,
so
yeah,
popular.
yeah, yeah.
So, what did you take since you mentioned Sugar Hai? What do you remember from your journey from sugar that you took to Jiva?
Oh my God. The first thing that I took, lots, but I think I had learned at Sugar that for a brand which was aspirational, for a product that's aspirational, that speaks to people who are on the gram a lot, who are young, who want to look good, who are really trying to make a mark in the world, like which a lot of us girls, women are. It's very important that we go to them actually in the context of them wearing the product every day.
Okay.
Influencers are important. Uh, Accessibility is important. Approachability is important. You do not want to only shoot these big magazine style shoots. You want to speak in the
Everyday
language of
language,
every
everyday
day.
style.
That I definitely took from Sugar.
That's very nice. That's very
Another
nice.
thing is that startups, right? Do the same thing that you can 5 times better at 5 times less the cost. I mean, you just become happier
And
with
that's
yourself.
jugaad marketing, huh? But you've often said in 2019 when Jiva started, it was a non-existent category. Why do you say that when the silver category was very much existing in pockets like Jaipur? And how did you compete against this disorganized market?
So there are two reasons why I say that as a category.
Hmm.
Gold has always been sold in India, just like
Yes,
silver has been. But gold, we all know that Tanishq came and organized the market 20 years ago.
absolutely correct.
Similarly, what I think Ishane was and Nikita were doing was organizing the silver market. The second reason is it was the still pockets in India which were very big on silver.
Yeah.
This is a pan India attempt to bring
Okay.
silver to people. And there is a way bigger reason, the kind of jewelry we sell in silver. It's modern, it's delicate, it's everyday pieces, which I don't think India did in silver so much. India does the chunky silver, the
Agreed.
aged silver,
Yeah.
and we do it beautifully. But this is what we need right now. You and I had mothers who wore like a gold hoop most of the year, right? And one or two jewelry changes would happen. But now we go to office
Work every
every
day.
day. We gift people a lot of things, we buy for ourselves, we put pictures on the gram every day. So it's very important to bring this to people. People can't buy that much gold.
So, what does India wear today? Give me some trends that you're seeing.
I think, of course, India is a big market. A lot of India is wearing many different things, but for everyday wear, India loves still very classic pieces. It likes delicate pieces. It likes, I mean, I wear chunky jewelry if I'm coming out, but for everyday, I'd wear my studs. I'd wear something pretty. I'd wear something simple. So India has these different occasion based buying that happens, and you'll see that from small pieces to actual statement pieces. So there is a big range, but the small pieces win out in terms of just how many times they can be used.
So, how do you position Jiva then? How did you position it?
Youthful, modern, authentic, because it's a jewelry brand. Credibility is important. We are innovative. Trust is very important. We are innovative from the choice of metal to the
Mm.
way we run the company. We really pride ourselves in being modern and youthful and use AI and use a lot of new things, to be able to do everything. We are very obsessed with being authentic, which means that we live the brand. We are happy, we are fun, we are very warm. You'll see all our campaigns are similar, right? So
Yes.
yeah, that is
But
important to us.
Resha, that brings me to another question. You said we are very warm. I see warmth a lot in your campaign. I see a lot of intimacy, everyday moments, like you said, right? I see a lot of pastels. But my question is that every other brand also tries this. So how
Absolutely.
are you differing there then?
So there are two things.
Mm.
Firstly, we actually have recognized two things. Um, we definitely see other brands have also done this now.
Yeah.
So we are shifting it a little. We are
Okay.
not going to ever break away from our soul,
Sure.
which is that warmth. India buys jewelry at the back of joy. Actually, anywhere at all in the world, you and I buy jewelry at the back of joy. Nobody buys it as investment, even if they're trying to pass it off as it, like you feel happy when you get a
You want
new
to
pair
wear
of
it.
earrings or
Yeah.
you get a new necklace. So I think we are authentic in that sense that it is for everyday moments. It's for moments of warmth. It's such a big gifting category.
And especially at your price point then.
Yeah, especially at our price point. Even with the new lab grown diamond that we are selling, the price point is so sweet that, I would want to gift it to my mom and my sister or even a friend, a very close friend. It's an easy thing. Or a husband to gift to a wife, or a
Mm.
sister on Rakhi. We see these things happen, whether it's silver, whether it's lab grown. So for us, when the brand truly stands for owning these intimate moments and this warmth, this joy, this happiness, we never want to break apart from that. But I do think the pastels can take a little bit of a break. The brand now, especially with lab grown diamonds, we started it as an online first brand. Every brand should go through a journey of evolution, and we
Yes.
are in the midst of the journey. I think in the next 3 to 6 months you may see a lot of different things happening, and yes, do it so well and so repetitively and with a little bit of twist as we are very modern and youthful. So you'd see a Tanishq also do it, but you'd see be able to us apart from that.
Resha, I
Hmm.
absolutely love your facial expressions when you're talking about Jiva and your jewelry
I
because
love
you're
it. Know my
feeling it.
brand.
You're feeling
I love it. Yeah.
it. That's excellent. What kind of a headway do you get in lead time in terms of the next collection and what are you planning? Because, see, jewelry marketing is, of course, based on moments, based on occasions, festivals, celebrations, etc. But what about the different drops that you have and what kind of lead time are you planning
So
as a
actually,
marketer?
we have two types of drops in collections. Every week we do drop some new products,
Okay. Every
and
week.
every week
And
we
that's a
drop some
lot.
new products.
Yeah.
But in terms of in-house collections we bet big on, which are completely designed from scratch. We have international collaborations. Last year we collaborated with a celebrity like Bhumi, like, all of this. Those we get to know at least 6 months in advance because that's when actually designing starts. The collection goes for sampling, a lot of things happen. So we have enough time to plan how will we bring that to people. How will we
Sure.
brand it, how will we market it, whether how those shelves will look in stores,
Very nice.
BTL, everything is planned like that. So that we do make big noise around those collections. The rest of it is more regular business.
But your the amount of communication that you would have is massive. So how do you
Huge.
manage all of these touch points for consumers?
Um, a great team helps
And
very
that's in
well.
house?
Very nice processes. The whole team is
Oh
in-house.
wow.
We very rarely use agencies. Of course, very big campaigns like Anushka, etc. We do go with great production
Sure.
houses to shoot with them, but everything else is in-house. This is another thing I took from Sugar. Maybe because we also did not have the kind of money, and I am a control freak because I I wanted to do everything on my own. My brand had to win. So I love it. I like mentoring people. I see
Very nice.
such lovely talent who want to do
Lovely.
such good work. And you have been there. I've
Yeah, yeah.
learned this from you as well,
It's
that you want to do that. And
yeah.
when you have some control, the way you feel about your brand, the way you look at your brand, the way you
Sure.
know your brand. I love working with agencies who actually get that deep into a brand too.
Sure.
But otherwise, just with our own team, great in like
Integration and
yeah, with other teams also we work really
intra
well.
team.
So I think you bring those processes in.
How big is the team?
Just brand or Jiva?
Brand.
Brand team is now about 70 of us.
Wow,
Mm,
that's big.
yeah.
That's big. And I see very many, I mean, lots of stuff happening almost on a daily basis. I
Yes.
see lots of UGC style content. Video is very big in your mix.
Huge.
Yeah. Tell me a little about what kind of response do you see the most from what kind of communication gets you good response?
We get very good response, depends on the channel actually.
Hmm.
So for social media, of course, the kind of reels we make, very accessible reels, a lot of product based reels, but very quick paced,
Yes.
because you need to get people's attention.
Yes.
Very good music can work, good
I've
voiceovers can
seen
work.
that.
So social is that, influencers work really well for social. And their own channel, they have their own audience, so of course we reach out to them through it.
Hmm.
In terms of ads,
Hmm.
we see that a lot of occasion based ads, a lot
Yes.
of relevant ads work, a lot of ads which have warmth again, because gifting is a very big category. Even gifting something or buying for yourself, but leading it with emotion
Sure.
usually works very well
Give me an
for us.
example of a campaign that, and give me all the legs that the campaign had. What all did you
So
do?
let's say that a campaign that our Valentine's Day
Sure.
campaign, really big campaign, and the legs that it will have for something that big is we will divide between the brand films that we'll create. We created 4 brand films,
Okay.
very music, and we have this Jiva music now that has come,
Okay.
which will hopefully become as hummable as a silk, Cadbury silk
Or a
thing.
kingfisher one or
Yes,
whatever.
eventually that's how big we want to
Mm.
make it. And so there is that. So it's all about these 4 couples and these 20 seconders which are easy to consume. We saw massive sharing happening. So of course the ad films are there.
Okay.
These are run because they will, everywhere people will see this,
That's your
right?
main asset.
That's my main asset. I will obviously take it online through everything. I
All the
might run it
channels,
on
yes.
cinemas, OTTs, all of that
Okay.
too. Then BTL will happen. So mall branding, you'll see whether you go to the airport or not, a lot of hoardings will happen. It's a 360 campaign.
Sure.
A lot of SEO work happens, 2 months in advance to bring in traffic when people are searching
Nice.
for Valentine's Day related stuff. We will do a lot of influencer. We had 7,000 influencers who talked about us
Very
Valentine's, and
nice.
that influencer campaign in itself will have
In itself,
only
yes.
girls, it'll have couples, it'll have mothers and kids, it'll have all kinds
And
of
pan
things,
India.
pan India. Then we will also have, we had installations in malls. We have our own branding within our stores, like so
Okay.
200 plus stores, right? So that's a very big thing. The LEDs we play, those are very big things. Every asset we think of. We will also have celebrities going live and
Endorsements.
talking about us. We so I PR, a lot of PR would happen around this, around our campaign at that
Is there anything
time.
that you've done really differently in a campaign? You've used some sort of very different interactive mix of media or whatever, or an
I
unusual.
think I think this is our usual, but
This
what
is
we do try every
hmm
single time is also test out different platforms and
nice,
media mixes.
nice.
But also we also sometimes try something like we tried AI to get like a more personalized message from a celebrity to our people, our customers, so that it's more interactive any which way. So
Sure.
something like that really is. We keep trying to innovate, and we
Okay.
keep trying to think, let's try this. We have done like campaigns where we've gone to UGC in cities and tried to shoot with them just to see if that brings in some newness to it.
Sure.
We've also really we last year for Valentine's we launched our own show where we worked with celebrities who were actually surprised by their partners on screen. It was a big risk because if
Where
you
was
don't
this
get it
show?
right, it was shot in Bombay for
Okay.
Neha Dhupia, Angad Bedi. We had like
Okay.
celebrities who were actually surprised on camera, right? Because it's such a big thing. The whole idea of being proposed to. So we
And this
trying
was
to
a
do
web
these
show,
things.
or you had
It was an online show. We
online
launched it
show
on our own
on
YouTube
you.
channel.
Okay.
But yeah, it was fun to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Very, I mean, to break away from the norm, what worked for you? How did you, so first of all, how do you collect data around this when you have so many different prongs to a campaign?
Firstly, we every single thing is data driven,
Hmm.
but of course you can't really have attribution to the truest sense. It's
Absolutely,
marketing.
yeah.
So 360 is important, but
Hmm.
what we see is when we do BTL, we will actually map out whether footfall to the stores where the BTL is versus cities where it's not, or even stores it's closer to, or
Hmm.
malls it is in versus stores where it's not in their mall. How different was the footfall, how different was the conversion. So it could be that detail. Social media, of course, the kind of reach we have, the kind of hashtag reach we have, how many
Sure.
people used us, how many people shared it, the kind of Google searches we see for,
See, online it's easy to collect that data, right? But offline, when you're collecting from 200 stores, a metric like footfall is can have human error in the reporting in it.
and there will be some amount, but we try and see if we can see a map, a pattern
Okay.
over a long term, because that's all that you can do. So suppose we did something new, was bus branding.
Huh.
We have these nice beautiful buses in Bombay, Hyderabad, Bangalore. We tried it, and we just tried to see whether the areas that those buses were in versus cities where we didn't do it, how was it received. Sometimes actually there's no initial immediate conversion,
Right.
but you still see that awareness,
Hmm.
top of the funnel, it's
Correct.
really worked well.
Absolutely
So we
correct.
try and see what is working for which part. And obviously, there are many things that don't work, then we take it out.
That's extremely nice. And this is what I've seen out of most startup brands experimentation. And there is no other proof than actually seeing it do it or no. Because what doesn't, then you discard, jettison that, and bring in the others. And
Absolutely.
we've worked with brands that we've seen are experimentative, and they're the ones who are the biggest gainers.
Right,
So kudos
right,
on that
right,
one.
right.
How are you reading consumer trends today? I mean, where was the insight coming in from to do something on lab grown diamonds or men's jewelry for that matter? Where did you get that?
Both of these are different. So
Yeah.
with lab grown, actually, I have to give credit to Ishane.
Okay.
Even with silver and this, he is very intuitive about market trends, and also comes from, a lot of it comes from abroad, because India does jump onto the bandwagon a little later. So
Hmm.
if you see a Pandora or something, they may
Sure.
have been way bigger outside, and I think then we know that this is eventually going to catch up in India too. With lab grown, I think just the fact that it is so sustainable, it is such a smart choice. Right now, in my house, nobody can buy mine diamonds anymore. I mean, I have told my mother, no way, because now I've seen what you can do, and you
Yeah.
can't figure it out under a microscope.
You
So why
can't.
would you
Yeah.
not? And it makes diamond accessible to everybody.
To
I don't have
everybody.
to wait for 2 years, 5 years to think that I'll wear a small ring. Right now, I can actually wear a bigger ring. I can.
Absolutely.
So beautiful. Accessibility is something that people anyway come to,
Which is anyway Jiva, right?
which
You
is
all
anyway,
already
and we
already
love
position yourself
experimenting
like
with
that.
these things.
Yeah.
And we are somewhere, we have 200 plus stores. We can be the pioneers, and we should break a category that's going to
Sure.
really help every customer, including ourselves. But with men's, it came from the fact that people were entering the store and asking for men's jewelry, that the
Okay.
searches for men's jewelry had increased. So we are listening on Google. We're listening to people
Mm.
when they're asking for something. And that, I think, can give you an idea. And then we experiment. We put out more products. They're going off the shelves.
Tell me, a brand that has 200 plus stores like yours will definitely have stores in the smaller towns and cities as well. How are you appealing to the regional, customers and consumers today? What do you do in terms of localization?
So, two things. Firstly, we don't have too many stores in smaller towns yet. We have some, but we actually go really heavy in bigger towns itself first, and
Hmm.
eventually we have such a big thing. This is going to be a market where we'll be able to, from 200, take it to 1,000 stores. So we will
Wow.
have really deep penetration everywhere. But we have been online right from the beginning, and that's pan India reach, right? So for us, regionalization, localization is very important.
Mm.
The couple of things we've tried, and let me say that we have to do a lot more work here. Is that we've tried to use occasion based things. So when you see BTL in West Bengal during
Yeah.
Durga Puja, it will be in Bengali. We
Okay.
use influencers, local
Yes, I've
influencers,
seen
and
that.
they are creating content, both in English, Hindi, and in the local language too. But
Okay.
because their reach is from a certain region, that really helps. So of course, language is something that we're using. People from there, local
Yes.
celebrities and influencers, we are using. I think we have a lot more work to do in terms of maybe doing more of it, like, being louder with it. We've also run our own campaigns.
Okay.
Like, say, Anushka's film will be run in 8 different
In different
languages.
languages. Okay.
We also try to do something with, especially if Hyderabad, I have a lot of stores, then I may be creating some videos and some assets in
In
that language and taking it to people.
sure. Which part of India is buying more from Jiva?
Actually, all parts of India. In all parts of India are buying from Jiva. I'm not making that up. We right
Okay.
now know that everywhere people love to wear minimal, beautiful, classic, modern jewelry.
How
And there's a
nice.
big market, and people love gifting us as well.
And who's your biggest buyer?
We see it as both men and women buy because men buy for
For
women.
women, yes.
But the largest buyer is, of course, the woman. And we see that usually it's after their first job, because it's not exactly like jewelry that you buy off the shelves.
Sure.
And we noticed a beautiful thing that there is very considered purchase where you go for a bigger piece of jewelry with your parents, whatever, like you're buying for wedding or you're investing a lot in gold. Um, the other is that you buy, I'm walking and I buy something worth
Casually, you don't
200,
have to.
500. But this one is a more spontaneous purchase, which means it's considered a little bit. It's not just bought off.
Mm,
You want to give someone something that they can wear for a longer time. You want to buy
sure.
for yourself something you can wear for a longer time. And as soon as we had that insight, I think it was easier to start branding it like that. So
Risha, I have to tell you, I'm very much going to go and check out your entire collection.
I'm very happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm getting very inspired to see what all different
Yeah.
types of stuff
I'd
that you have.
love to
Although
hear
I
your thoughts when you do it.
did
Yeah.
see a little bit, but I think I should do more. You've mentioned influencers, which naturally is a large part of a young brand like yours. How do you select quick metrics on why? How do you pick your influencers?
We pick our influencers based on relevance. How good is their content? It's very important.
What do you
Who
mean by
is
how good is their content?
Sometimes you can have influencers who are not creating brand is important. I know my brand.
Yeah,
So they must be in sync with the kind of brand I want to build.
sure, of
I
course.
can't just have anybody at all because that is actually eroding brand value for me. So the kind of thing, are they warm? Do they have the kind of presence? Are they authentic? Those are important. I'm not only looking at big and small influencers because I'm working
Okay,
with so many that sometimes it's not only numbers,
okay.
it's the quality of content that they
So you
create.
see more qualitative than the quantitative.
Yes, and I do a mix
You
because
do
there
a
are so
mix of the
many. I
both.
have to do a mix because reach is also important to me, of course. But I also definitely do one more thing: who is following them? If
Yes,
it is people who are only following them to say XYZ and leave, you can read from comments, who are their followers. So those are the kind of basic checks in place.
very nice. Is that what was the thinking behind starting with Shraddha and then going to Anushka Sharma and then now, of course, Karishma Kapoor for your 200 store? Why looking at multiple celebrities? Why not one ambassador who can be the face of your brand?
Actually, there is only one ambassador who's the face of our brand, which is Anushka.
Anushka, yeah.
Anushka is our ambassador, and we
Okay.
use her everywhere for every campaign and everywhere at all. And we love it because, people, it is Anushka's brand in that sense that,
This is very real.
it brought us so much credibility. She herself is just such a beautiful, graceful woman, bring herself so credible, made it on her own, a
Yes.
self made person. This is what this brand stands for. So we love having Anushka, and Anushka is our brand ambassador. The only time that we work with other celebrities, like you mentioned, Karishma Kapoor,
Sure.
and again another person who a lot of credibility, a lot of class, a lot of is because there are certain events
Mm-hmm.
where we can't have Anushka come in or we can't have that, but we do also want to tap into an audience
Mm-hmm.
which another celebrities
Can bring
also
in.
bring in
Mm.
can also bring in.
Yeah.
Plus also the event in itself requires someone
Someone
to
more.
bring a certain kind of joy and verve to the event. So we use that lens, but other than that, the journey from Shraddha or anyone, would have been based on what we could go for at that point in time. Hmm.
I was actually thinking, you said it very well that Anushka is, she's the epitome of what you're trying to portray in
Absolutely.
terms of authenticity, the real Indian girl, the her energy and her joy, and the way you portray her in your films and things also is very, very relatable. But for a 200th store launch, you probably need a little glam out there, and then the same celebrity probably is
No,
not.
no, I would have gotten Anushka happily, but we couldn't have. She wasn't even in the country, I
Oh, okay.
think.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to quickly ask you one thing. Tell me the truth about customer reviews because in your e-com category, it's a big one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how many are doctored and how many are real there?
I will tell you very honestly, none of them are doctored by, I mean, at least as far as I know, none of them are doctored. I think there have been times that I think people who go to, because we do everything in house, like I told you, when I think there are agencies that are involved.
Of course.
And even I've heard of this,
Yes.
those we don't do anymore. Look, we are selling at such a scale that, and we track NPS as such a crazy metric that we are actually getting a lot of organic reviews. In fact, I don't think we I don't know if we are able to put out all of them,
Mm.
because there's just so much. If
So,
you're
where do they
selling
come
at
in?
this number,
Where do all the reviews come in? Most of the reviews come in on
so
which
they
channel for you?
come from the customer team, the customer survey team,
Okay.
which is also a very big team that we are deploying for many things, including getting back to customers who've shown interest, etc.
Hmm.
So we get a lot of reviews, and when you come, at least for us, because authenticity is so important, you'll also see the negative ones, and we
Sure.
are okay with that because of course there will be certain things to look out for that, and we respond to be able to tell you how to take care of the product better. Have you used our facility? We have 6 months warranty, we have lifetime replating. Come, use it, we are happy to do it for
I
you.
like that. I like that. That is news to me actually, because most of the others are also selling on similar basis of lifetime plating and
Hmm.
things like
Hmm.
this. I like that. You're actually solving for a very real problem, especially in the silver category.
Yeah.
So that's very nice. Most brands who go through the journey of funding and things I've typically seen take the offline route as well. And of course, India is a very touch and feel market. So, why did Jiva decide to go offline? What was the reasoning behind it? And so many stores is a big one.
Yeah. Two things. The category itself,
Hmm.
I think it lends to the touch and feel, the joy of going and checking it out. Especially with gold and diamond now, even more important because the price point is different, the AOV goes up. You want to have a more considered purchase. Online is very important in India. It's where brands are discovered. It's where
Yes.
brands are considered
Compared.
against and compared with
Yeah.
each other,
Yeah.
right? So that you can't ever not have. Of course, offline is a more
Impulse
expensive.
also.
So I think you have to make sure that you have some money in the kitty to be able to go and do it. But
Sure.
once you go there, the kind of love we see, yesterday was
Yes.
Akshay Tritiya.
Yes.
The amount of selling is happening offline. You must go offline. India is still buying offline, and I see that India will continue to buy
Continue
offline
to
for a
buy.
very long time.
In fact, a whole lot of it is coming back because there's little fatigue online as well. And there's too much,
Yeah,
there's too
there
much
is.
hitting you online. So
Yeah.
people are actually enjoying the experience of going and finding it offline
I
again.
see that online will continue growing, but
Yeah.
offline can be such a boost to businesses, especially such
Which
businesses.
is bigger for you? Ecom?
No,
Online?
not anymore.
No, not
In the
anymore.
last 2 years, it is offline.
Oh,
That's why we are
lovely.
so heavily going offline.
Lovely. That's a
Yeah.
that's a huge one actually.
Mm.
So, in your category also, there is a lot to do with the whole unboxing and the beauty of the packaging and things like that. Give me your thoughts on that because Jiva is known for creating those moments.
It's so important when you gift someone something, when they open it. We have a little note that comes from Anushka. The box itself feels
Oh
nice,
wow.
when we buy watches, I think we also look forward to it,
Yeah.
even a phone. I mean, the whole unboxing.
Oh,
So we
yes, of
know that
course.
this category, whether you're buying it for yourself, you're buying it off, like I said, joy and warmth. And, you want to smile, you want to see the product, you want to see it in a great box, you want to carry that bag beautifully, We try and make that experience really special. We'll have a note there sometimes, people can actually give gifting cards along with it where we have given them some prompts or they could write it themselves. So for us, we know
How
that
lovely.
this moment is special for anyone at all.
How lovely, Resha, and you continue to, speak so effusively about it. It's very infectious, I have to say this. And especially to our listeners, I hope they're all going to go check out
I hope, yes,
Jiva.
please do. Please do. Jiva is amazing. You'll love it.
Thank you. So, what really, in your opinion, is making your brand? Is it the product or is it the marketing that you're putting it out with, the budgets that you're putting on it?
I'm going to tell you the truth. In my
Please.
opinion, any brand in the world, any product in the world, never gets made without both of these happening together.
I agree,
And
yes.
I have had friends who've started businesses, and I always tell them that as much as you're going to be proud of the product that you create, you might as well have a runway to take it to people, because you
Yes.
could be a Picasso, but if you're
You will
just
not
painting
sell if
those
you don't.
paintings and keeping
Yes.
them at home, and then
Perfect.
also it is asking why the world does not take notice of your product, you have not done justice to it.
Absolutely fair. So, what's your marketing budget like? Are you going to spell out for us?
I'll tell you that of the revenue every year it becomes a smaller percentage,
Oh, but the
because
revenue goes up.
of course the revenue must go up and even the percentage has to go down, simply because we must make sure that eventually we make a lot of profit. We want to grow a business which is profitable. Not
Sure.
only we want to bring value to customers, investors, and people, and to the landscape of India. We were very sure right from the beginning. You have to hear Ishain speak about it. He speaks about it with like so much conviction. That's why I jumped onto this boat,
How nice.
so yeah, I mean he was at that point in time less than 30 and I was like 8 years older, and I remember thinking to myself that how will this be? But I saw him and I was like, I can learn from this boy every day. This is the kind of conviction I want to come
That's the
back to
kind of
every day.
leaders we stay for, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
People who believe in what they are bringing and building, and love that. And I think the budget, it is, of course, it's a big number now, but so is the number in terms of what revenue we are doing and what
Hmm.
revenue we are aiming to get to this year. And so in that sense, it's a small percentage. It's a 10% sort of.
And how do you break up the mix? What is the marketing mix?
So, of course, performance and brand are different.
Hmm.
Performance will also have a very big
Sure.
budget to
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But in terms of brand, like I told you, we will have offline and online. Online, we will do all this Meta, Google, all of that. We will have creation budget because all these things have to be created. Assets have to be created. It's very expensive. We'll have a celebrity budget. We will have BTL. We will have installations. We will have PR. We will have cinemas. We will have PMAX on Google, which will be different from the Google ads we are running. We are very detailed about it.
Very nice.
We have events, we have influencers, we have social media. All of this we give money to.
And you're doing all of this in house?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Absolutely. And what gives you the highest ROI?
Depends on different things, because I again said we do a very 360 camp level of thing. I can't tell you exactly what does, but I do know that the highest ROI is generally a mix of the ATL, BTL that we are doing, especially at the back of something beautiful we've created. Influencers, great ROI. Social media also, you can't
Lovely.
say
I'm
no,
happy to
because
hear
that's
that.
every day. That's not a campaign based thing.
That's every
That's
day.
where I engage my audience every single day. I have to
Yeah.
show up.
So that attribution becomes very difficult.
Very difficult.
But you have to do it. You
I
can't let
must.
go
I must.
because those are
Yeah.
your touch points which are hygiene today.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. We've even done things like we've given people spaces where they can actually have proposals. We've done proposals in front of the pyramids of Giza. We've done proposals in front of Eiffel Tower. So we've done so many of these beautiful moment
How
creation.
nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really, really making it aspirational as well, right? That I want to buy this piece of jewelry and I also want a moment like this for.
Of course, of course.
Very
Don't we
nice.
all?
Who's taking most of these brand decisions? Is it you or Ishain?
I really like working with him. He has a very strong mind. So he comes and we can sometimes even have like these difficult decisions. And last week we had a conversation where I said, okay, let me sleep over this. But he gives me a lot of space. And I think that respect is important. Otherwise, nobody at this stage
Of
and age can
course.
work with each other.
And not so invested. You
Yeah.
can't be so invested if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't have that.
Absolutely. But he comes with great ideas. And a lot of
Very
times
nice.
when I wake up, I see myself write to him that you are right. Let's try it this
How
way.
lovely. So, you worked with a few founders now. What
Yes.
is one thing that a brand marketer should or can tell a founder?
Uh, I now have a rule for myself. When I'm taking up a role, I try and see if the founder only talks in terms of revenue and thinks that marketing is a backseat exercise, which is just a drain on the back pocket. If that is the way they think, it is not for me. I'm not saying that that is not for anyone. I have no idea. But I think I like people, I like founders who know how important it is all the things that happen in the background, whether it's ops, whether it's
True.
warehouse, whether it's marketing, whether it's branding,
Yeah.
because they have a vision of building a brand, not only
Absolutely.
getting in revenue.
And I always say, when we work with people like that, whether they're CXOs or whether we work with brand heads, if someone can see the benefit and the value coming out of the communication, the marketing campaign, etc., they're very evolved. There is
Right.
another category that we see that just wants to do things for the sake of it, but someone who's really going deeper about what it's meaning, and what it's going to do. It's wonderful to work with those founders who are evolved like that. Resha, my next section is a quick take five for you, yeah, and it's a quick
I
take.
I feel like I've arrived now.
Yeah, let's hear you quickly. Give me answers to this. A creative idea bombs. What's your gut move? Revive it, repackage it, let it go, and why?
I have had this a couple of times, and I will be very honest. The first gut move is that you feel a little like sad, especially if you really believed in it. I do two things very quickly.
Mm.
I try and immediately say, is there any other way? Like, I like the idea. So, my gut is telling me it's a good idea.
Yeah.
If I'm that convinced that the idea is good and I have not taken it in the right way to people, so repackaging. Sometimes, the video, no, it just
Nice.
did not start right. We have something here, but it's not going there. I might ask them to create a very small budget repackaging exercise and
Good.
test it out.
Good.
But many times I take the hit. I'm like, okay, learning. But learning is important. I'll write down the 10 learnings that people are not ready for
Wow.
it. I enjoy it, nobody else does.
But you
It's
have these
important.
post campaign meetings,
Oh, yeah,
debriefs
yeah, yeah,
then.
debriefing
Oh,
properly.
lovely, lovely, lovely. That's what's one marketing buzzword that gives you an allergic reaction today?
Very good question. Can't come up with something crazy right now. Um, yeah, I mean, virality.
Ah, I totally agree with you.
Right,
We
right,
get that often.
right.
Give me a viral campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had to pitch Jiva in 5 words and a facial expression, what would it be?
I would put Jiva as a smile.
Ah, lovely.
And that would be the facial expression. And I think I know the brand really is. I mean it. We are original, we are innovative, we are authentic, and we are youthful and modern and warm. So warm.
Wow, listeners, can you see how quickly it's coming to her, huh? And all through, I've seen you smile, I've seen you laugh. I've seen, like I said, I voiced it. The facial expressions came aplenty. So you did those very well. What is one thing about the D2C category that nobody warned you about?
That people have a lot of choice, and a lot of times they're not they're not engaging with the brand the way earlier brands were made. Nobody taught me, because we grew up thinking that we'll create the kind of brands HUL had made like 25
Mm.
years ago.
Yes.
It's a different landscape. Loyalty is a very different ball game. Retention is a very different ball game.
Absolutely. On that point, I will come back to this one, but I'm going to ask you the last one here. Your phone rings at midnight, and it's a call from Cartier telling you want to do a collab. What is your reaction going to be? Is it, let me see the brief first? Nice try. Oh yes.
Oh, I'm going to first jump up. If Carter is calling me for a collab, I'll jump up. And then I will say, but I might not show it. And I will say, can we have the idea as to what you want to do or what not? And then I will sleep over it. I sleep over everything, because it also depends on what it brings. But it will
Yes.
bring, today I know that Cartier, at least as a name, will bring so much to my brand. So that I'm sure of. As a marketer, it's an instant thing. But also depends on what I'm giving in, what I'm getting, what all that is important.
But Risha, brand authenticity is completely different. The
Yeah.
category is completely different for them. The segment
No, but
is
they
what
may
I'm
be
saying.
if they're coming and they're pitching something,
Hmm.
then I'm going to hear out at least what are they doing. And
Okay,
now for
fair.
me, with lab grown and with gold and a lot of premiumization that's happening, I think they will bring a lot to the table right now, especially because I told you in 6 months you'll see something.
So, Cartier representatives, if you're listening to this,
Please,
Risha's here.
please. Hmm.
Risha, you worked across different categories now. What is one universal branding truth that you would like to share with the audience?
A universal branding truth is that never ever not know what you're creating. And with different things, don't create create different experiences. Don't let go of your brand and not believe in it with every second campaign. I see so many people.
Yeah.
That is, don't jump on trends without understanding what your brand is made of. That is why everyone has to live the brand. A campaign, our staff uniform, this perfume in the store, the experience in the store, the way the staff talks to you, everything is brand. I am brand, you know.
Absolutely.
So I just want to say the universal truth is trends can help you. They're a tool, but they're not everything. Believe in your brand, make long term strategies, and do it so beautifully and repeatedly. And if you do that, it's very
Consistently.
difficult to fail.
Thank you so much. I think we've had a fantastic power packed session here with you.
Very
And
nice.
I'm sure all of you have seen there's a feisty marketer out there who's gutsy, not scared, authentic, and straight from the heart. I hope you saw a whole lot of successes. You got insights, you got wins from her, and you got a whole lot of brand truths that you can take away today. Thank you for being with us, Resha.
Thank
That
you
was lovely.
so much, Tina. It was so nice. And it's a big moment for me today, like to start with you and today to be sitting here and talking about my journey.
May
It
there
means
be
a lot.
many, many
It means
more.
a lot.
May
Thank
there
you.
be many, many more.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed that session with Resha Jain, make sure you keep coming back for more. We've got a whole lot of exciting brands and stories lined up for you. We're Iconic Brand Stories and we're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Come back for more and stay tuned.